Welcome to True Crime
where we
in a
tell you a
Dime
chilling story.
in 10 minutes time.
This is our short story segment where we give you 4 shorter-ish cases in one episode because they're not quite long enough to be their own episode, but we still want to share their cases.
Yeah. And they usually are pretty interesting cases, I think. I think mine too are quite interesting.
Yeah,
actually.
and I have 2 international cases this week, and they're pretty juicy.
Ooh.
So
Mine are pretty unsolved.
Mine are too. So I guess that's funny.
No way.
We're actually talking about doing like themed true crime in a dimes, where we want to do a cruise ship disappearances one. I think I have a love triangle one putting together, like love triangle murders.
Give us ideas. If you guys have ideas, shoot us an email.
So this can maybe be an unsolved one theme.
Yeah. Why don't it?
Yeah,
we can make it whatever we want to make it. How about that? It's our podcast. So guess what? Welcome to our unsolved mysteries of true crime in a dime. Okay.
And like I said, my 2 are international, so I will probably butcher a lot of these names and towns. I apologize in advance. I did look them up, but that was a while ago from when I did this research, and I do not remember.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like, damn it, I forgot to look up. We always do that. Yeah. I'd rather just fuck it up and y'all can laugh at me. It's fine.
In the comments. If you
I'm doing my best here. Yeah.
Alright, so the first story is Mateusz Kawecki. He was a 30-year-old Polish man from a small village called Hutko in southeastern Poland. He'd been working as a construction worker alongside his father in Hanover, Germany for about 5 years and lived with his father. He was a quiet guy and cared about his family. On March 28th, 2018, he headed to Poland to see his pregnant fiancée, but never made it. Mateusz was in a long-distance relationship with his Polish fiancée, who lived in a village called Lipia Góra in northwestern Poland. She was pregnant with his baby. On the evening of March 28, 2018, she went into labor, so Mateusz set out driving his 1998 BMW 525 at around 11:30 p.m. from Hanover to Lipia Góra, which was about a drive of 402 miles or 647 kilometers. This was a drive he had done many times before and usually takes about 6.5 to 8 hours depending which route he took. He was due to arrive around 8 to 9 a.m. the following morning, March 29th. However, Mateusz never shows up. His father called him around 10:30 a.m. on March 29th, and his son told him he was stuck in heavy traffic in Szczecin, a town on the Polish-German border about 133 miles or 214 kilometers from his destination of Lipia Góra. Around that time, he also texted his fiancée telling her he would be with her in about 2 hours. The German-Polish border wasn't staffed and there were no passport checks, although there were number plate recognition cameras. Hours go by and there is still no sign of Mateusz. His fiancée is becoming increasingly worried after unanswered calls, so she contacted Mateusz's sister, Katarzyna Piotrkowicz, who also lived in Hanover, around 5 p.m., but she could not reach her. Later that evening, Mateusz's mother tried to report him missing to the police, but they discouraged her from filing a missing persons report because it was too early and they should give him more time to show up. So police there are no different than here.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Sitting on their ass getting a check.
In early April, his family finally reported Mateusz missing in both Germany and Poland. The German police refused to investigate as they believed the Polish authorities were on the case. The family then asked the Polish police to locate Mateusz's cell phone, which was apparently on for a couple of days after his disappearance. However, Polish police could not do so because he used a German SIM card. The two countries kept passing responsibility to investigate back and forth. Even though Mateusz was a Polish citizen, he was just living and working in Germany at the time. The German police couldn't locate his phone either, as Mateusz disappeared in Poland. The Polish police later claimed that Mateusz's phone never connected to a Polish network, and it is unclear where at Mateusz received the call from his father. The investigators claim that Mateusz never crossed the border, as CCTV monitoring at the border crossing indicated he had not entered Poland. So he either lied when he was on the phone with his dad, or something is being missed. Mateusz's family was getting frustrated with the lack of help from police, so they began their own search for clues and checked the entire route he would have traveled, going into side streets, checking with gas station staff, asking for video surveillance, going around markets and towns near the border with Mateusz's picture, and posting posters with his image. So they're doing the police's work. The family also appeared on TV in Poland and Germany several times with complaints that the police were not doing enough and not taking the matter seriously. I don't know if it's because we're in America, but there's not a single news article about his disappearance when I go to the news search engine on Google. There's only foreign articles about a soccer player with the same name, so I don't really know how well this case was even reported on at the time. Unless I just don't have access to that information, I don't know. Unfortunately, his family speaking out didn't help to generate many leads, and his case quickly goes cold. On September 12, 2018, a neighbor came to Mateusz's mother's house in Hutko, Poland, to ask about their barn because he could smell a terrible smell coming from it since July. The family assumed there was a dead animal, but I guess they never actually checked because the neighbor asks if he can do a thorough search, and his mom agrees. Half of the barn is walled off, which created a room with an attic or mezzanine type thing on top of the room. I'll insert a picture if you're watching on YouTube, or again, you can check out our Instagram. He didn't see anything in the downstairs portion of the barn, so he climbed up top and saw a pile of clothes. Upon further inspection, he was shocked to find that it was human remains consisting of a severed head and a torso. The corpse was too decomposed to be identified as to who it was. He called police and they quickly swarmed the barn. 2 rope nooses were found hanging from the roof, and a backpack was on the floor, which was later determined to belong to Mateusz. Some of his teeth were knocked out and stuck to his clothes with what seemed to be blood, and there were bloody patches on his clothes. Inside his backpack, there was a Polish water bottle with cigarette butts inside of it, his wallet, and an orange juice box. His family claimed that he never drank orange juice, so that's kind of a strange finding. Since his ID was in his backpack, they assumed the body was Mateusz. The cell phone in the backpack showed that there was one call to his uncle on March 30th, 2018, but it only lasted for less than a second and never actually went through. The last time his family heard from him was the morning of the 29th, so we don't know if he was even alive on the 30th. DNA analysis was conducted, and it was confirmed that the remains were indeed Mateusz. His personal belongings were analyzed, and no other DNA had been found on his items.
Okay, I want to interject here and say that why the fuck did it take 6 months for a neighbor, even the property owner didn't even, why was it that a neighbor had to smell it enough to be like, yo, Can I look at your barn?
Well, it was
Look at
2
stinks.
months. He started noticing the smell in July and then searched the
Oh,
barn in
it's 2
September.
months. Okay. Okay. I thought I heard 6 months. I was like, but either way, I mean, you're letting that smell.
He had been missing for like 6 months at
I mean, I'm
that
glad
point
that
because
they.
he went missing like at the end of March. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, they noticed a
Okay.
weird smell in
Okay. Gotcha.
July. So if he like ended up in that barn right when he went missing,
Okay.
that means he would have been in there for 4 months already when he started
Well,
noticing the smell. And then by the time you found him,
yeah.
6 months
I
had
mean,
gone by almost.
that's why I'm saying, like, who they didn't notice their barn stinking.
Well, they said they did notice the smell, but they just assumed it was an animal. But like, why wouldn't you get that animal out of your barn then?
Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
like I
investigate.
don't know what's up with that, but yeah, like why did a neighbor have to do it?
Yeah. I feel like we could have been
Yeah,
on this earlier, I guess. But
police were quick to write his death off as a suicide and refused to investigate. Yeah, I know, right? Shocker.
his teeth. He knocked his
Yeah,
own teeth
apparently
out.
made himself bleed, knocked his teeth out, then hung
God.
himself. Right.
Yeah.
They refused to investigate further because they assumed it was a suicide, despite appeals and efforts by his family. They believed that Mateusz had planned his death and said there was no evidence of foul play. 4 days after his body was found, his family discovered his shoe in the barn with his detached foot still inside of it. This showed the family
Jesus.
that the police hadn't even bothered to search the barn properly because they were like, suicide, see ya, we're done here. Things start to get a little.
Yeah, they because that automatically it's not a crime scene.
Yeah.
It's not a crime scene, so they're not going to sit there and put in the effort to do
Mm-hmm.
anything. So, but literally, mm, that grinds
Right?
my
I know.
gears too.
Like, how many cases has this happened in so far?
Like half ass in a fucking crime scene. It's literally a severed leg.
That's
Like,
why I am
what are you
convinced
doing?
that one of the requirements to be a police officer is no common sense, because this is happening way too frequently to make any sort of sense.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So things start to get a little weirder during the investigation. German police obtained security footage and searched Mateusz's apartment in Hanover. Experts in Warsaw then analyzed all of the evidence. Based on what they found, prosecutors were able to establish that Mateusz had lied to his family on the day of his disappearance. He was not in Szczecin when he'd called his family like he said, and wasn't driving at that time either. Instead, he was still in Germany, according to receipts found with his belongings. He took a train to Frankfurt an der Oder, a German city on the Oder River at the Polish border. It's known for its red brick Gothic buildings like the town hall, which houses part of the Museum Junge Kunst and its collection of East German art. He most likely would have walked over a bridge to the Polish town of Słubice almost 24 hours after telling his family he was already in Poland. He then appeared to have checked into a hotel with an unknown person. The next day, he took a train to Warsaw and then a bus to Zamość, the largest town close to his home village of Hutko, Poland, which is about 13 miles away. He arrived in Zamość around midnight, but it's still unknown when or how he got to Hutko where his family lived. The plan wasn't for him to go to his family's house. He was supposed to go see his fiancée and newborn child. So how and why did he end up there? Because his car has never been found in either Poland nor Germany despite extensive searches. They did not find evidence of it being transferred to a new owner or deregistered. The keys to the BMW have also never been found, despite his wallet being found in the backpack at the barn. The attic in the barn was visible from the ground, and his family said that they used the barn throughout the summer of 2018, so it seemed very unlikely that they wouldn't notice a hanging body, which, I mean, I agree.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
again, I'll insert a picture because, like, going into their barn, you can see right up to the attic area. Like, there's nothing blocking it, so like you would definitely see a hanging body. This case is a lot like the Tanner Ward case in Chapter 1, whose body was found hanging from a tree in an area people walk past. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, go back and listen to True Crime and Dime Chapter 1 because it's a crazy story. Mateusz's cousin said, "It is very strange because we have been to this barn many times during this time. The door was wide open and nobody noticed anything. The prosecutor claims that he was hanging there, but we do not think so because we did not see him there." End quote. And I think that's valid because, like, how do you miss a hanging body?
Yeah,
And same with
yeah,
Tanner Ward. He was not hanging in that tree for 6 months.
no,
Mateusz's sister accused the officers who were initially involved of negligence, as they initially refused to search the barn thoroughly because it would take too much time to sift through the hay. I'm sorry, that's your job.
I was just like, oh, that's like me showing up to my job, or you showing up to your job and be like, you know what, I don't feel like
Yeah.
taking care of this
Yeah, like
patient today.
five patients, that's too
I'm not
many
here to do my
today.
job.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I can't take that fifth or sixth one or whatever. Like, sorry, can't do that. Bitch, that's my
Right?
job. That's what
Like,
I get paid to do.
make it make sense.
Why are we just
I
all
don't
making
know.
excuses?
While the prosecutors found the officers' actions did not meet the standard for criminal negligence, an internal police investigation did find wrongdoing, and 2 officers were reprimanded. So there's a lot of unanswered questions in this case, and there's really not a lot of information out there. Like, what was his relationship with his fiance like? Were they having issues? Because I know it was a long distance relationship, so maybe it just wasn't working out. I don't know. Who did he meet at that hotel?
Yeah,
And why, of all nights, did he go there when his child is being born? Like, was he
yeah.
excited to be a dad or was he dreading it? Where is his car?
Do you have a theory?
I mean, I think he was murdered. I don't think he hung himself,
Yeah.
but for the motive, I have no idea. Or who, I don't know if he was involved in drugs. Was a drug deal gone wrong?
To me, it sounds like it was just one of those wrong place, wrong
Maybe, or
times.
maybe like he was going out of his way to do a drug deal in his parents' barn because it's like, secluded kind of, no one's going to see it happen, and then they kill him in there. I don't know. And then maybe they just put the nooses in there to stage it as a suicide.
Maybe. Good theory.
And if he did hang himself, like, why? Was he ever suicidal before? And if he didn't, who killed him? Why were some of his teeth knocked out with blood on his shirt? Like, that shows me
Yeah.
there was a struggle.
That to me, yes, there was some kind of violence, some kind of escalation, some kind of anger or fight over something, or that's why I don't know. To me, it's like a
Right,
drug deal
yeah.
gone wrong, or
Because one of his feet were
um,
removed.
they get got caught up in a circumstance. That's what I'm saying. Like, got caught up in a circumstance that also he didn't mean
Yeah.
to. Maybe like
I don't know, because it seemed like he was tortured in some way.
driving on the road.
Like, they
Yeah,
busted his teeth out, cut his foot off. Like, I don't know.
yeah,
And then also, like, why were there
that's
2
weird. It's
nooses and
crazy.
not just one? I don't know.
Yeah, who would
I
the
don't
other
know.
one be for?
So that's the end of this case. Like, there's no answers really, just questions.
Wow. Yeah, and a written off case that it's a
Yeah,
suicide.
and it wasn't that long ago. 2018. That was only 7 years ago.
Yeah, that really wasn't that long ago, actually. You're right. We're not that old.
No. I feel like if they really did some police work, this could be solvable.
I mean, that's usually the case in these when we're sitting here talking about police cases, but this is also like blowing my mind because this is like international. Like, I mean, I know, like, shocker, people are the same in other countries,
Yeah.
but you know, it's still
Yeah.
really sad, that it's no better. Right. My next case is Diana Dawn Vicari was a 19-year-old student at uh, sorry, my goodness, Pima Community College in Tucson. She thought about attending University of Washington to be a marine biologist, which was inspired by a SeaWorld trip that she had taken with her family when she was 8. It was 1992 when Deanna was working hard at her two jobs at Basil's and at EG's while going to college and also trying to balance a social life. Friends and coworkers had nothing but kind things to say about Diana. She is young and beautiful and just trying to enjoy life. At the time, Diana was in the process of moving to her mother, Caitlin's, in the Tucson, Arizona area. She had tried out a roommate situation while attending college, but found that it wasn't the best situation financially for her. Her father, Tom, lived in Washington State, moving there after the divorce and opened his own motel. Diana found her love for music from her father when he signed her up for piano lessons at 5 years old. Diana and her three other siblings, sister Debbie and Angela, and brother Brian. On October 22nd, 1992, Diana had class that day. It was a Thursday. She left her drama class she had that night at the local high school and ended up getting, my goodness, gracious, great ball. Get it together, Amber. She left her drama class she had that night at a local high school and ended up giving a friend a ride home before she went to enjoy Mosh Fest, a rock concert that night at the Tucson Convention Center. And for the Mosh Fest, I tried really hard to figure out who was the lineup that night, that year, and I couldn't find it. I really tried because I wanted to know who the lineup was for that night.
Yeah.
The next day, Diana never showed up to either of her jobs, so her family became very worried. Even though she was young and living her life, she was responsible about it, and this was abnormal for her. She talked to her mom every day and always communicated with someone about where she was. The next afternoon, after she was last seen at the convention center just after midnight on October 23rd, Diana's severed arms were found in a downtown dumpster behind a business.
Oh, God.
They were wrapped in plastic and were found to be severed post-mortem.
Oh, thank goodness.
A few days later, her car, a gray 1981 Ford Mustang, was found in a neighborhood on the West La Osa Street. Inside her car was her purse, ball cap for work, her school textbooks, and fast food garbage. Her vehicle was towed to the station for evidence to be collected, but I am unsure they found anything. I found separate reports saying her car was found close to her drama teacher's house. I found another article with information claiming she was trying to find a party that night, and neighbors where her car was found reported a huge house party only a few houses down. Lamal Prion became the next person of interest. He was a registered sex offender, living only a few houses from where Diana's car was found. He served 5 years for raping a 15-year-old and was released in 1991. 5 years after Diana's murder, while Priyan was already incarcerated for aggravated assault and possession of a deadly weapon, he was indicted for the murder, assault, and kidnapping of Diana. He was found guilty on all charges on January 28, 1999. What really won the case, I think, was a testimony from a bartender who claimed to have seen Priyan and Diana at the bar that night. But on August 20th, 2002, an appeal hearing found that they had no physical evidence linking Priyan to the case. They only presented with circumstantial evidence during the 1999 trial. And they also found the testimony from Olson, the bartender, was false. Priyan's charges were dismissed, and he was released from Utah State Prison. The Vicari family offered $7,500 and $2,500 was offered from the local crime tipsters, a total of a $10,000 reward for any information leading to the prosecution of Diana's killer. Her family has been very active trying to bring attention to Diana's case. Her older sister, Debbie, and her mother, Caitlin. You know what? Kathy. Her mother, Kathy. Her fucking name is Kathy. And her mother, Kathy. I think I called her Caitlin earlier. It's fucking Kathy. God damn. Kathy had done many local news interviews begging for anyone to come forward. Diana's body has never been found. And in 2008, Debbie posted a tribute song for her sister, Diana. And we will, I have that link then for you, Kirsten. We will link that YouTube song that Debbie had posted as a tribute to her sister back in 2008.
Aww.
Sadly, Diana's older sister, Debbie, died in 2009, 1 year after posting her song.
Oh, wow.
Her brother and mother have also passed away before getting any answers. Her only surviving sibling is Angela, who was 16 when Diana died, and is the only voice that is keeping her case alive, hoping to finally get the answers that we need.
Yeah.
And I have a quote here from Diana's mother. Quote, Diana had a ready smile and a quick wit. She faced life with joy and enthusiasm. She was a true friend. Her motto was, trust is my middle name. She was a team player and always spoke up for what she thought was right. She loved children and animals. Diana left an ache in our hearts and a hole in our souls, and we will always miss her.
Oh, that's sad.
Anyone with information on Diana Vicari's death, please call 520-88-CRIME or 520-8827-463.
Hopefully it'll get solved someday.
Yeah, I hope so. All they have is severed arms, is that not?
Yeah, that's
all they have.
So they ever found the rest of her?
Nothing. Severed arms wrapped in garbage bags found in a dumpster is all they ever found of that woman. Severed arms, Kirsten. That makes my mind like what happened? And
right.
The next day, those severed
arms. And what did they do with the rest of her, and why would they just throw her arms out?
Yeah, why in a dumpster downtown?
Yeah. It's like they wanted some of her to be found. I don't know.
I'm telling you, to me, the way this happened with severed arm, within less than 24 hours. I mean, her arms are in a dumpster downtown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me,
yeah,
it sounds like a serial killer or something got her, like somebody who knows what they're doing, or
yeah, like this wasn't their first time.
No, they got away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's scary,
right? That was crazy.
Okay. All right, next case is Lars Mittank. Lars Mittank is a German man who disappeared on July 8, 2014, near Varna Airport in Varna, Bulgaria. He was on vacation with friends when he experienced what is believed to be a psychotic breakdown after an altercation with some individuals. He fled the airport and was never seen again. There is a little more information on this guy than the last. Lars was born on February 9, 1986 in Berlin, Germany, but grew up in Itzehoe, Schleswig-Holstein, where he lived his whole life. He worked at a power plant, had friends and a girlfriend. He visited his parents frequently. After his father suffered a stroke, he often helped at his parents' home after work. Wikipedia says he was described as a normal person.
A normal person.
Yeah. Like no mental illness or anything like that. On June 30th, 2014, Lars traveled with 5 of his friends to Varna, Bulgaria. It was his first journey outside of Germany. He was 28 at the time. The group was on holiday, as Europeans would say, at the Golden Sands, a popular seaside resort just outside the city of Varna. His friend Paul Roman recalled in 2016 on German television, quote, "The week went by really fast. We relaxed on the beach, swam in the pool, played football, went clubbing. He was relaxed. He was in a good mood," end quote. Another Fred, Tim Schultz, said that Lars did not eat that much on the trip and that he would only have a small bowl of soup or a small salad at a time. His friends reported no additional abnormal behavior by Lars until the end of the trip. On July 6, 2014, the day before the group was due to return home, they went out drinking at a bar. While there, Lars got into an argument over football, or soccer in the US, with some other men. He was a Werder Bremen supporter, and the others were Bayern Munich fans. Lars ended up leaving and disappearing the rest of the night. Lars returned to the resort the following morning and told his friends he was beaten up by 4 men hired by the group in the bar whom he argued with. The alleged fight resulted in Lars suffering an injured jaw and a ruptured eardrum. But what I don't understand is like how this person or people knew where to find him after only running into him once.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they didn't know him.
Maybe he's
Unless they
them,
just yeah. Unless they just like followed him, I don't know.
Yeah.
Lars went and saw a doctor who advised him not to fly and prescribed the antibiotic cefprozil 500 milligrams. Lars's friends wanted to stay with him, but he insisted they go home that day as planned, which they did. Lars stayed behind and checked out of their current hotel with his friends, then checked into the Hotel Color Varna for the night because it was cheap and close to the airport. After his friends left, though, he began acting paranoid. While at the hotel, Lars called his mother, Sandra Mittank, and told her in a whisper that people were trying to kill or rob him and that she should cancel his credit cards. The CCTV footage in the hotel recorded him pacing up and down the halls, looking out windows, and hiding in a lift. At 1 a.m., he left the hotel before returning about an hour later. It is not known what he did during that time. The next morning, he called his mom again, telling her that the people pursuing him were getting closer. So I can't imagine how scary this must have been for his mom to hear this, knowing her son is like so far away in another country and now by himself.
Yeah.
Later that morning on July 8, 2014, Lars was planning to fly back home. He texted his mom that he arrived at the airport, so he was safe and in the clear to go back home. Before heading to his gate, he went to consult with the airport doctor and get clearance to fly home. Dr. Kostov. The doctor later described Lars's behavior as nervous and erratic. According to Kostov, he told Lars that he was fine and could fly home. But Lars did not leave and expressed doubt about the medication he was taking. A construction worker then entered the office, because the airport was undergoing renovation at that time, and Lars began to tremble and yelled, "I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here." He then fled from the office, leaving behind all of his luggage, his wallet, his cell phone, and his passport. He was captured by airport security fleeing the terminal. Once he got outside, he was seen on footage running away from the airport, climbing a fence, running into a meadow, and sprinting off camera in the direction of an adjacent forest. So he's afraid he's going to die, and instead of staying in the airport where there's tons of witnesses, he decides to run into a forest alone without his phone? It makes no sense.
He's having a mental break, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But it's like, why? He was on vacation.
I don't know. Maybe he's stressed out about something? I don't know.
Maybe the altercation he was in had something to do with it. Maybe they threatened him. I don't know. But it wasn't over anything serious. Like, it was over rival soccer team.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, whatever led up to it, it definitely, he's having his state of psychosis, he's having a mental break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was like the last time Lars was ever seen.
That is
Just him fleeing
insane.
into the forest.
That he just ran
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Sorry,
While you're in the airport about to go home, you're safe.
my morbid sense of humor. He just tiptoed through the tulips. It was out of there, man. Like, holy.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you're safe. You're about to get on a plane and fly home. Why are you running into an unknown forest
Yeah, you were so close.
where you will not be safe?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, he also thought somebody was pursuing him. Like they're,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's scary.
So it's It's unknown what happened to Lars after he left the airport, and police had little leads. His family hired a PI named Andreas Gutig, who also found no trace of him. He even checked hospital records for patients without identification, but found nothing. Lars had experience in hunting, fishing, and trapping, but there is uncertainty about whether he would have been able to survive outdoors for long periods of time in intense summer heat with lack of food and water. There have been multiple reported sightings of him in several other countries, but none have ever been confirmed. In 2019, a German truck driver gave a hitchhiker a ride from Dresden to Schildow in Oberhavel, Brandenburg, and after later finding out about Lars's case, he said that the man with him resembled the older version of Lars. He had long hair and a beard. He said that his eyes seemed tired and his cheekbones were prominent. But again, this was never confirmed to be Lars. It has never really been established as to what exactly caused his paranoia. It's theorized anything from drugs, a reaction to his medication, a head injury from the fight, an undiagnosed mental health condition, or a genuine threat to his life, or a genuine threat from his unknown attackers. But what could they have possibly argued about over a sport that would lead them to want to kill him?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless that wasn't what they actually argued about, but I believe the altercation was witnessed by his friends.
Okay, yeah.
His friends and family say he never took drugs and had no history of mental illness. It was also suspected that his unusual behavior was the result of a rare side effect from the antibiotic that he was prescribed, which can lead to hallucinations and paranoia, but according to Kostov, Lars wasn't taking them because he never actually filled the prescription. Kostov said, "So his behavior couldn't have been a result of that. I can't think of a single reason why he left my office in such a panic. I'm still confused." And so am I.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it wasn't mental illness and it wasn't drugs, like, where did he go and why?
And why?
Like, who was he so afraid of?
Yeah. That's crazy.
And this was his first time outside of Germany, so it's very likely he got lost and maybe succumbed to the elements.
Probably, honestly. I mean, sadly, but yeah.
But it just doesn't make sense. Like, why did he feel he was more safe outside of the airport than inside?
I don't think he did. I just don't think his brain was not computing at the moment.
Yeah.
Why at any moment, Kirsten, whether you thought you'd be safer inside or outside, are you like jumping over an entire fence? And when there's probably cars around or something, wouldn't you rather like go break
Right.
into a car or something, like get me out of here?
Right. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to run into a
Yeah, that's
forest.
what
I
I'm
don't know.
saying. So like his brain was not working at that.
Yeah.
You know.
His mom created a Find Lars Mittank website that I'll link in the show notes. At the time of his disappearance, he was listed at 180 centimeters or 5'11" with dark blonde hair. He has a scar on his left forearm. Yeah, crazy.
All these missing people.
Mm-hmm.
I will say for the last case, I know these are all technically unsolved, but this one that I have, we technically know who did it. Okay, but
Uh,
you'll see. So this still, I think you'll have to let me know at the end of it if you think it still falls in the category of our unsolved mysteries. But
okay.
here we go. This is the Leathers gas station murders. Tyrone Walter Theus, also known as Ty to locals, was born April 14th, 1973. He began working at Leathers Oil Company gas station in Gresham, Oregon on April 9th, 1992. He was 19, and it didn't take long before he became station manager.
Hmm.
He is reported to be a good employee, always on time, and a good worker. On August 31st, 1993, he was suspended from his position after he was caught by the supervisor, Harry uh, Staten, stealing around $30. He admitted to what he did, apologized, and returned the money, so he seemed like he had just made a mistake and tried to make it right. In the early hours of Monday, January 17th, 1994, a customer entered the Leathers gas station to pay for his gas when he couldn't find anyone inside. He made his way to the back storage area where he found the three employees dead. The victims were 47-year-old Virginia K. Endicott, born July 15th, 1946, in Harrison, Arkansas. She was married to Michael Endicott, 25. Jesus. She was married to Michael Endicott. 25-year-old Mary Beth Carey, who was born May 16th, 1968, and Rosalie Faye Gritz, 51-year-old mother-in-law of Mary Beth, born September 17th, 1942. They were all found shot in the back of the head execution style. Police found that about $9,000, which would be around 20,000 in today's money,
Dang.
was missing from the safe. They believe someone came in, forcing the women to give them the money in the safe and forced them at gunpoint to the back room, making them lay face down and then opening fire. They had nothing on the case for almost a month. Then on February 10th, an informant told police officers a lead with Tyrone's name. 2 days later, police went and searched Ty's Portland, Oregon apartment. I couldn't find any information on any evidence that they found in the apartment. And I think for the last case and for this case for both mine, I was unable to find like lack of evidence because it's unsolved, same as yours. I have no idea what they found in Diana's car, because I feel like if they would have had a trial, then we would find out. Same as like
Right.
this. There's no trial or anything, so I don't know if they did find any evidence in Ty's apartment or not. On February 16th, the judge signed an arrest warrant for Tyrone on 3 counts of aggravated murder. So to me, they had to have found something to issue the. Do you
Right.
know what I mean? Like, I have no proof of
Yeah.
what they
You
found.
can't just go off what someone
Yeah.
says.
Because, I mean, this is 94. There's no, like, we have no video evidence, nothing like that.
Yeah.
But when they were unable to find him, they believed he went on the run on February 9th, possibly going to Idaho. Since he was now on the run, a federal warrant was issued for his arrest, and it was then found out that Ty's cousin, 20-year-old Lawrence Scherf, and friend, 23-year-old Lori Ann Stevens, were involved.
Weird.
I know, were involved in this crime when they were interviewed by police when their names came up in the early investigation. In an attempt to get the public's help to locate Ty, police released details to be on the lookout for Tyrone, who is 6'4", 180 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes, and has a Black Panther tattoo on his abdomen. It was also suspected that he would be using aliases. As police are interviewing more people, they find out from Lori's husband that she drove both Ty and Lawrence to the gas station that morning. Lori, who was working at a school bus company at the time, was arrested on April 13th, 1994, and Lawrence was arrested 2 days later. Apparently, both Lori and Lawrence had no idea Ty planned to rob the place. They remained in the vehicle as Ty went in. I personally do not think they are telling the truth fully.
Yeah.
They were both convicted. But to me, how do they not hear 3 gunshots again?
Right. Yeah.
Um, so they reported that they couldn't hear the gunshots. They received 10 years in prison, and that is a reduced sentence for them after they both agreed to testify against Ty when he is brought to the trial. I found a small report in 2016 article that police reported getting a lead 6 months prior, but there was no other details about that. This article interviewed Rosalie's daughter, Rose. She believes someone must know something, and her family can get justice in this case. There were also statements in this article saying that they have a lot of evidence stacking up against Tyrone. Of course,
Yeah.
this evidence won't come out until they do a trial. Tyrone would now be 52 years old and has been on the run now for 31 years.
What the heck?
The location of the Leathers Oil Company is now an abandoned lot, and we ask if that you know any information about this case, about this cold case, to call 503-618-2719. And so, technically not unsolved. We know who did it.
Hmm.
He skedaddled out of there as soon as he did it. He's never been found.
Which is crazy in 2025 that we still can't find him, if he's still alive.
He very much could be alive. Only would be 52 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that like he was born in 1973, so
Yeah.
he was
Yeah. I'm not doing that math right now, but
he was literally 19 when he did this crime,
hmm. Yeah.
and has been on the run ever since.
We'll post a picture of this man. If you see him, call police.
He'd be 52 now, but yeah.
He'd look a lot different.
But no, they have no other information on him because I mean, back in the 90s, there's no cameras or nothing. They had nothing.
Right. Yeah. That's crazy.
Isn't it? Isn't that nuts? I hope you guys enjoyed this true crime in a dime case. I think it was a pretty good one, actually.
Yeah. So yeah, we are going to do 2 more themed true crimes and dimes coming up. And then we'll do our regular random ones too. But if you like the theme ones, let us know. And if you have any ideas for a theme, let us know.
Yeah, definitely send us some ideas. Make like a shadow and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at
Lurking in the Shadows podcast.
I swear I'll get this perfect one time. Check us out on TikTok.
Okay, I should go in the beginning.
Check us out on TikTok.
I couldn't even say the name.
Yeah, that's right. In the shadows.
If you watch or listen to that blooper reel.
That's right.
Lurking in the Shadows pod.
And any questions, concerns, or case suggestions, shoot us an email at
Lurking in the Shadows podcast at gmail.com. And keep looking around for our next episode.
Bye. Bye.